Let's go straight across to Union Minister Rajeev Chandrasekhar ji, who's joining us on a day when thought leaders are commending Prime Minister Narendra Modi. On the 9th edition of the International Yoga Day, the celebrations have just gotten over with Prime Minister Narendra Modi leading it there at the UN headquarters. Rajeev ji, namaste. The world is bending to India's tune, but leaders who came out said it's a some very significant and good things after meeting the PM.
Absolutely, I think it is a tremendous vindication of what Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has done for India over the last 9 years, and to have these global leaders come out and talk about India in these terms, where Elon Musk says, I think India has more promise than any other country in the world. Ray Dalio, the investor, says the potential of India is enormous. And then when you say Neil deGrasse Tyson say, I'm sure that I'm not alone when I say the potential for India can accomplish knows no limits. It is absolutely gratifying that the world today is recognizing India's rise and is looking at the future that India represents with a great deal of awe and respect and positivity. I think it is, as an Indian, I feel tremendously proud when I hear it, and it's not because some foreigner is saying it. I think this is a feeling that most Indians have, most young Indians have, about the optimism about the future in terms of looking into the future for India. But when the rest of the world also echoes what we feel, I think it's certainly a vindication and validation of how far we have traveled as a nation.
But Rajeev ji, when they say that India has potential, Elon Musk says, I'm coming to India next year, we'll set up Tesla or we'll bring it when humanly possible. There's a sense of deja vu. In the past भी कहा जाता था हमें देखना है, हम देख रहे हैं, हम देखते रहेंगे.
No, look, I think, Anand, you have to understand that there is a trend that is very, very visible to those who want to see it. And the trend is this, that every global brand today, whether it is Apple or Samsung or Cisco or any of these brands that are tech brands or manufacturing brands, are increasingly looking at India as a cannot ignore part of their supply chain. And I will predict today that in the next 3 to 5 years, India will be an almost necessity for every company that is in the manufacturing space for India to be a manufacturing hub. We are progressing down this line. And Anand, when people look at these statements and say, oh, it's a cup half full, he has not said he's flying tomorrow and he's not setting up the plant day after tomorrow, that is not how these decisions are made. These are big decisions, big plants that require big investments, big skills, big talent, and a big kind of logistical infrastructure to be built. So these are not trivial decisions that are to be made at the snap of a finger. But the fact that Elon Musk is saying that India is certainly on his radar, he is certainly going to evaluate India as a manufacturing hub for his next generation EVs, is a positive, very, very positive thing, because Tesla then joins the rest of these global brands in evaluating India as being a trusted part of their supply chain.
True, but Rajeev ji, Musk versus Dorsey, whose tweet are you going to verify?
No, I think, look, I have always maintained that as far as the government is concerned, we really don't bother about who the owner of a platform is. It is really what we are tasked with is to ensure that platforms comply with Indian law. And I have repeatedly said this is not some adversarial jousting between the government and the platform. It is a commonsensical expectation of any company that comes to India, wants to do business in India, that they comply with Indian law, because that is the way democracies function, that is the way countries where rule of law is followed. Whether you're a manufacturing company, you're an internet platform, you're a social media platform, foreign or Indian, big or small, in India, if you do business, you have to comply with Indian law. There is nothing more commonsensical and simple and intuitive to understand than that. But unfortunately, I think in some cases, this was not easily understood, and some people were under this misguided, delusional belief that the laws and rules of India did not apply. And I am glad that today, across the board, most platforms, if not all, accept that compliance with Indian laws is not some request, but it's an actual need. It's an absolute must.
Point well made. But the Congress has now posted a picture of former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru's Shirshasana and taken a jibe at Prime Minister Narendra Modi with Camerasana. How would you want to respond?
No, I don't want to respond to them at all. I think their single point agenda is that whenever there is something to celebrate, that they come in there like a wet blanket to create a downer, some sort of a narrative out there. I certainly don't want to waste my time responding to them. There's an old saying that I use when people try and provoke me on the internet: never wrestle with a pig, because the pig walks away very happy, and the person who wrestles with the pig just walks away dirty. So I don't intend to engage into any of their debate that they want to provoke people into. They're free to do what they want. They're free to post however outrageous images that they want to post. It's a free world, and they're protected by Article 14 and 19.
Well, internal politics to geopolitics. On the issue of Sajid Mir, China has once again blocked a move to get him proscribed as a global terrorist. Do you believe these are signs which are ominous for Bharat?
No, look, I think the message that countries and democracies today are sending to the world is an important message, that rule of law is important. That at the end of the day, a wider set of alignment to the values that all people are entitled to be safe, to law and order, to safety, and it cannot be that you have different standards for different types of crimes and different countries committing the same crime. So I think this is in a sense a conflict between two sets of values that is happening in public around the world. And the people of the world eventually and slowly will decide that it is not enough to look at everything through opportunism and through geopolitics. That India's message of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, India's message of equity and opportunity and fairness and rule of law, and that democracies like India and US and other democracies really are trying to spread a message that every citizen, even if it is a citizen in an embattled country, needs to be having a right to safety and security, and terrorism should not be given a free pass just because the terrorist happens to be a friend of a country or an ally country. So I think these are conversations that the world is going to have to engage in, and India is on the right side of this. Like Honorable Prime Minister has said, that we are not neutral. We are proponents of peace. We are not neutral in any of these disputes. We basically talk about sovereignty, integrity, and a fight against terrorism that is based on common values and consistency. So I think this is, Anand, this is something that will have to play out over the coming years.
Well, Rajeev Chandrasekhar ji, always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very, very much for once again taking the right stand. Thank you so much. Namaste. Well, ladies and gentlemen.